Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to begin by thanking SRSG and head of MONUSCO, Ms. Bintu Kaita, for briefing on the latest developments concerning implementation of mandate of MONUSCO. I also thank Ambassador Abu Abari for his report on the activities of the 1533 DRC Sanctions Committee and civil society briefer Ms. Nelly Bongo for her insights. I welcome the presence of the representative of the DRC in today's meeting. Political developments in the DRC in the last 3 months have been reassuring. The reform measures concerning Independent National Election Commission will strengthen the electoral process. The government's action to address the security situation in the eastern DRC has received support of all stakeholders, including the opposition. The DRC government has also engaged proactively with neighboring countries to address the threat of armed groups such as Allied Democratic Forces and Cooperative for the Development of Congo. These efforts have resulted in adoption of a 2-year action plan and establishment of an operational cell in Goma. President Tshisekedi has been elected as the next chairperson of the Southern African Development Community. The heightened bilateral engagements with Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda have further contributed to the regional approach for peace and development in the region. The reform measures of the DRC government have received support of the international financial institutions as well. The participation of women in the political process has been further advanced, including with the appointment of the first female governor to the central bank. We welcome these positive developments. We hope the DRC government and opposition parties will maintain the positive trajectory in the run-up to the 2023 elections. On security front, the situation in Ituri and Kivu has remained volatile with increasing activities of ADF and Codeco. The attacks against civilians by armed groups have intensified despite the state of siege. The assertion made by the DRC president in his speech to the 76th UNGA last month on the presence of terrorists operating under the cover of FDLR and ADF in Ituri, North Kivu, South Kivu, and Maniema needs to be taken seriously. The interconnected link between presence of armed groups and exploitation of mineral resources in the eastern DRC has always been a major factor for instability in the region. Here, my delegation underscores that the primary responsibility to protect civilians lies with the DRC government. MONUSCO's role is to support the FARDC in addressing the threat of armed groups and in disarmament and demobilization efforts. In this regard, we welcome the establishment of program for disarmament, demobilization, reintegration, and community stabilization, and look forward to its effective implementation. Mr. President, we have taken note of the details of transition plan, including 18 benchmarks agreed between MONUSCO and DRC authorities. The assessment of progress on the benchmarks needs to be realistic. In this regard, the continuing implementation of security strategy at the national level and provincial level, as well as a plan of action for security sector reform, will be crucial. The stabilization of conflict-affected provinces will depend on curbing illegal exploitation of mineral resources. The transition plan also needs to be in line with the peace, security, and cooperation framework for the DRC and the region. All efforts need to be made to ensure that the transition and exit of MONUSCO is gradual, responsible, and orderly. We have also taken note of assessment of the performance of the force and police components mentioned in the SG's report. We also expect similar assessment of civilian component of the mission in future reports. The comprehensive planning and performance assessment system should be applied uniformly to all components of the mission. The Resolution 2589 adopted by the Council in August 2021 has requested Secretary General to report on certain key tasks reflected in Operative Para 4A and 4B in the same resolution concerning crimes against peacekeepers. We look forward to such reporting in the upcoming MONUSCO reports. We also request the DRC government to take measures to ease restrictions that are currently hampering the turnover of peacekeepers. In conclusion, Mr. President, I would like to recall India's long association with the DRC and its people since 1960s. A peaceful and stable DRC will contribute immensely to the peace and development of the region. The progress made by the DRC in the recent years have been impressive. The international community need to support DRC authorities in this journey. On its part, India will continue to support and assist DRC on the path towards lasting peace, stability, prosperity. I thank you, Mr. President.